Guys, what's going on? It's your boy. You know who it is. And I was going to actually do this video yesterday. Should have did it Monday, but I thought, let me give myself a day. And then yesterday, I just didn't feel like doing it, to be perfectly honest with you. Um, and the reason for that is I don't want to say something that I don't mean or I might want to take back. And I thought this required more nuance. I didn't want to give you the typical angry fan kind of video, right? Because a lot of us are fuming about the playoff loss the Cowboys had to the San Francisco 49ers. Now, if you've been following, you know that I stated all season long the Niners were the only team I feared. Okay. I want to thank the Minnesota Vikings for fucking up everything. Because if it wasn't for the fact that Kirk Cousins is the most chokingest choker to ever fucking choke, we probably would have been playing the Philadelphia Eagles, which I have more faith in that we'd be able to beat. It's the reason I selected us to go to the playoffs. And in my previous video, when I broke down my prediction of the Cowboys going to the Super Bowl, it wasn't until the championship game that I had us meeting the San Francisco 49ers. Now, you can say we were never going to beat them, and I can appreciate that argument. But I also feel like having won 2 games, there's something to be said about a team that's hot, and you can say that about the 49ers if they're in the championship game as well. But there's something to be said for the Cowboys exercising demons. We haven't been to the championship game in 30 some odd years, right? And I would like to think that we would have learned some things. And ultimately, we may have lost. I mean, I struggled with that pick in the video. I almost flipped and just said the Niners, right? But I couldn't envision a situation where a rookie quarterback, because I don't think it's actually happened, where a rookie quarterback has taken a team to the Super Bowl. Now, you very rarely see a rookie quarterback on a team this loaded. The closest thing I can remember to it was the Pittsburgh Steelers and Ben Roethlisberger, and which a lot of people forget that Roethlisberger wasn't a rookie when they made the Super Bowl. They actually lost. And you guys can, go ahead and correct me. I want to say they lost to the Patriots, I believe. That first year, they got beat out of the playoffs by the Patriots, I want to say. So that's why I had the Cowboys in the Super Bowl. Okay. They weren't originally my Super Bowl pick. I originally had picked the Chiefs. No, I originally picked the Bills versus the Saints. And you got to wonder, you can make fun of the Saints pick all you want, but they were like a game behind Tampa Bay. I foresaw Tampa Bay not being as good. And I think the Saints roster is loaded. And I thought they were going to be able to benefit from having a defensive coach and kind of relying more on the run game and the defense. And I thought these were things that were going to be conducive to a well-oiled machine that Sean Payton left. But injuries happen for some fucking reason. They went with Andy Dalton. But I digress. This isn't a why did I get my original pick wrong video. This is about the Dallas Cowboys. And I struggled with not starting this video by saying I am officially done with Dak Prescott. And I don't want to say that, right? That's how I wanted to start the video. Because I do think we can. Here's where I'm out on. I no longer view Dak Prescott the same way that I viewed him. I came into this year and I stated, this is the year that Dak has to show me something. This is the year. Because for a long time, I believed in Dak. I got into several arguments with people. I never said he was in that Patrick Mahomes class, in the Josh Allen class, Tom Brady. Never put him in that class. I used to argue that Dak Prescott might be 10th, but that he is a top 10 quarterback. I do believe he's 10th. Used to argue that. I will no longer argue that. And at one point, I really believed that. And at one point, I think it's factual that he was a top 10 quarterback. And let's take a trip down memory lane as to why. Because some people don't understand why some of us believed in Dak Prescott. Because we remember all those years, the Quincy Carters, the Drew Hensons, Vinny Testaverde, right? We remember those years and how we came up short and how that search for a quarterback went. Then we got Tony Romo, who we all love. To this day, I love Romo. But the guy had a curse or a hex on him. He could never help us get out of our own way. And we've had some loaded Dallas Cowboy teams. It was whenever something could go wrong, it would go wrong. The year that we finally thought we were going to break the hump, get over the hump, Tony Romo broke his back or his collarbone or he fumbled at the wrong time. It was a nightmare, okay, that we couldn't achieve more with Tony Romo. Enter Dak Prescott. He comes in his rookie season and played so well, he retired Tony Romo. He went 13-3. And I don't know if you remember, one of those losses was early in the season. This is a rookie Dak Prescott. It was to the Giants. And he kept, and I remember there was a ball that Dez Bryant dropped that was in a critical spot that would have been a touchdown. And I remember that press conference, he said, I know this team will be ready for him the next time around. Dez knows he should have caught that ball. If, I let him know I'm going to be coming to him, and I expect him to basically catch that ball. Might be paraphrasing a little bit, but was the gist of how that press conference went after the game. They proceeded to go 13-3, beat the Giants the next time they saw him, as he promised. Then we hosted Aaron Rodgers in the playoff game. Feeling good. Young Zeke, rookie Dak. And you can tell they didn't want to put too much on Dak because he's a rookie, right? And we ended up going down 21-3 because we did the obvious thing, hey, rookie quarterback, Zeke's eating, feed Zeke, and whatnot. And they were destroying us. They went up 21-3. It was then that we had to turn to Dak Prescott. And we proceeded to score touchdowns. And at one point in the fourth quarter, tie the game. Dak Prescott brings us back from a 21-3 deficit. Threw for over 300 yards. And I believe 3 touchdowns. 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. But what I remember about that game is, look at this rookie bringing us back and playing against one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time in such a high-pressure situation. And when the moment called for it, it wasn't too big for him. And he carved them up. And we win that game, if not for Aaron Rodgers turning into a god on the field on the last drive and hitting an impossible pass to Jared Cook on the sideline. And even then, the kicker hooked in one of the most improbable kicks you'll have ever seen. The kick went wide left and curved in. The Packers won the game. So when people ask me, what do you see in Dak Prescott, that game and that season lingers in my mind. It was the next season, I believe Zeke got into his legal trouble. We did not make the playoffs, if I recall. But then health, when we were at full strength the third season, we made the playoffs, and we not only won a playoff game, but the way we won it. Does anybody remember Dak Prescott on 4th and long, scrambling, practically dragging people, and getting a key first down that helped us win the game? Like, these are moments that are etched in my mind, right? And then from that point on, you couldn't tell me shit about Dak Prescott. Okay. I believe if we put the right players on the field, he could lead this team. The injury happened. I believe they deserved this money. The injury happens. And I wonder, are we going to get the same Dak back? And first game of the season, I believe did we lose to the Bucs? I believe we lost to the Bucs, but Dak Prescott torched them for like 400 yards, if I recall correctly. I'm not sure if we won or lost. It doesn't even matter. Dak Prescott looked good. Okay. He looked relatively good. And for a few games, and early in that season, I don't know if it was around week 4 or 5, we went to New England, which has been a house of horrors for us in the past. And we end up having a back and forth game, right? He ends up doing what he needs to do to get us in position to tie the game to force overtime, and wins. And for those of you that, remember, that was a pretty good Patriots defense. Walk-off touchdown. I thought we arrived. Turns out he tore his calf in that game. And his play diminished from that point on. We ended up looking bad against San Francisco. But it was more because the defense couldn't really control the Niners. But Dak left a lot to be desired. Fast forward. Dak doesn't play a full season and is in the top 3, if not tied for first in interceptions thrown. Very uncharacteristic, right? Because he's even been called a game manager. When I tell you I saw some of the most unacceptable, inexplicable throws I've ever seen out of a quarterback, as a Jaguars and Cowboys fan, I haven't been this fucking mad until since Blake Bortles played for the Jags. Okay? It has been quite some time that I've been that furious at the ineptitude at quarterback. And I threw my hands up and said, I'm done. I can't defend him. The Dak I knew, he doesn't exist anymore. I don't know what happened to him. And I know, I don't know if it's the injuries. I knew he didn't have the arm talent of a Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen. I never thought he needed it. I thought he was able to be accurate when he needed to be accurate, and that he can do just enough with his arms, and his legs are what set him apart to be just above average. I feel like when he lost that, he lost his mojo. And we've never seen the Dak that we used to love since. And I hate to say it because I love him as a person, okay? Watching him step to that podium in that Giants game and say what he said and check the star receiver the way he needed to be checked, it moved me, and I'm sad to have to turn my back on him this way. The only way we win at this point is if we get like a DeAndre Hopkins. We have to have superstars around him. So at the end of the day, I'm with you guys. As presently constructed, we can't win with Dak. Let me know what y'all think. Peace.